Hola, ¿cómo estás? This is Tina Ballet. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome. Day of the Dead. Hip, hip, hooray. November. What's up? November 2nd. Hey. Happy birthday to those of you whose birthdays are today in November. Babies. Yeah. So there's a movie out or short film out that I haven't seen. No, I haven't seen it. I've watched the trailer and I've watched movie reviews and I've seen clips. And from that, I would like to speak on it. I sure would. And the movie that I'm speaking on is in the title. The description box has other information in it, as well as vital links. So, this movie is out, or short film. I was trying to find the short film. I don't know if I viewed the short film without knowing that I did. I was doing my best to try and find it, but I don't know if I did. So I did see some other short films that were like a collection of with this movie in it. So I was told that's why I watched the other short films to find this short film. But yeah, I don't know how that went exactly. So yeah, but I would like to speak on it. There is a book, I guess it's called a library, a public library, like a book housing, a book storage that comes upon the land. It's bestowed upon the lawn, and it has books in there along with a VHS tape. And I'm like, what are those books? I have been reading lately, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and right now I'm crocheting a pouch for my. I'm crocheting a case for my cell phone. So yeah, I've been reading lately. I've started my November read for the book club that I'm in, and called the Next Best Fling. All of that is in the description box. And I'm like, what are those books in there? Like, what's that? I'm looking, but I don't think you can see the books. Like, you see the books, but you don't see any titles. I'm like, what else in there? And then I'm gonna ask a question because I haven't seen the film. Did anybody ask where did this public library birdhouse come from? Because it wasn't there the other day. It wasn't there, and then it was. So where's that question if it wasn't questioned? where's that question? And I want to know about these other books up in this book library. So I started thinking, okay, about the movies that I've seen with books in them pertaining to children. And one of them came up and it's the Babadook. And I was like, is that the Babadook book library? Is that where the mama got that book? I know in that movie the book does show up like on the shelf. So yeah, I just really was having fun with that, like wondering what other books are in there, and what would have happened had they chose a book chose a book, like, I mean, I don't know, like if there's not a sign that says please just take one, then you could get a couple. You can get a book and a tape. And what were those books? What were those books like? And then another movie that has a book in it. One of my with a boy in a book. It's Trolls. Trolls 2. I think it's called Trolls 2. But it's really goblins, where the family does a trade, where the one family from the city goes and lives in the house of another family, and then the other family goes and live in their house. So the family from the city is going to a place in the country, kind of, sort of, but the place is called it's a rural area. We could say a rural area, because I don't know if I consider this place country, but it's a rural area. And so the family from the rural area was going to stay at the family from the city's house, and that rural area is called oh my goodness, it's goblin spelled backwards. It's Neil Bob, or yeah, something like that. So that movie starts off with the grandpa reading a book to his grandson, and people are talking about that book and what is that book and things like that to read that book. So I was like, is that book in that library? So those are the two movies that I know of that have books in them with children and things like that. So I was wondering if those two books were in the library, and could it possibly be like a making of like a collection. So like those two movies that I just mentioned, they could be in the collection of this new movie that's out. So I think those are like all possible connections, perhaps. And a connection that I can see also is like, with those movies, have the main character like go into those movies and like interrupt that filming and be part of that movie from their perspective and their take on that movie and what they would do. I could see that happening. Like, that would be so cool to go through those movies with that character. So yeah, I don't know of any other book movies right now, other than like I know there are some like Little Red Riding Hood. That's a storybook that's been shown in a movie like for a little bit, and then the movie goes into the actual tale of it. So that could be a cool thing or something. So I saw a lot of books in that magically appearing library. So maybe the books could be episodes, especially if somebody's only taking one. Like, you're not gonna take a couple. I guess you don't need a couple though. So, like, would the books be slow burning versus the VHS tape? Would the books like that's a whole nother thing. So yeah, I'm not coming up with the movie. I just see potential. I see possibilities that seem cool. Now when I saw, those are all from my own thoughts, I did see a clip of the maker of the movie, and he did speak about possibilities and series. So I don't know if that's where he's going with that, because he didn't share that much about it, but he did say he could see series with this. All right, so when I did see a clip, I think it was about a 7-minute clip. The TV was on, the video cassette was playing. The video cassette, is that what it's called? The VHS tape was playing, and the child was watching, and then it was dinner time, and then the child went to the dinner table. I don't know if the child washed his hands, but anyways, like, I always think, okay, well, I guess it's your choice, but yeah, I was always say, wash your hands before you come to the table. I don't know if that was it. Okay. So yeah, the child went to the table. It was dinner time, and I don't think the child paused the tape. I don't know. It's a clip. Okay, I'm just getting this from a clip. I'm trying to get to the part that I would like to speak on that inspired this live stream. So, okay, so they're at the table. Okay, here's the part that inspired this live stream. So they begin eating dinner, and then there's some talking going on amongst the people at the dinner table. Now here's the part that has me up here doing this live stream about this movie. And then as the characters are speaking at the dinner table, the characters on the tape are listening. Like, what? Like, they have stopped their program and they listening in to the dinner table conversation. Like, they have stopped and they've given their attention to the dinner table conversation, and they're listening. Like, they leaning and trying to peek and look. they listening. Like, I'm like, oh my goodness. That scene right there, I haven't even seen the movie. And that scene right there is just so word taking. Like, they just lean, and then they like, and then it says the character from the table conversation says something like, "Do you see what I'm talking about?" or something like that. And then the characters that are on the screen of the VHS tape, they lean closer, like they trying to see. Like, I'm just like, oh my goodness, do these people see this? And they like lean, like they trying to see through the screen to see what's going on. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's some scary shit. And what happened before that was one of the characters at the table, they said like something like, "Do you hear me?" And the character on the VHS tape was like dancing and singing with some music, and he spun around, steady dancing and singing to the music on the program of the VHS, and he said, "Yeah," like right after the character said that, and I'm like, he just responded to the table conversation. I'm like, but it's like you don't, like, they didn't put two and two together that was happening. So yeah, that scene, I think that's the creepiest scene. The creepiest. Like, I have seen other clips of the movie, but I think that's the creepiest. Like, and then after they're listening, and then like they like listening, like they leaning in listening, but then like the main character from the VHS tape, after he hears what he hears, he dips, like he like dips down, and then the color of the VHS tape like changes colors, and then it's on and popping after that. Like, ew, like he got out. It's like, okay, he got all he heard all he needed to hear like that, and then he just dips down. I'm like, oh my goodness. So with this library popping up, now see, there's something to that. I think, like, more to that hasn't been unfolded, because it's not just a VHS tape here, people. It's the whole public library showing up full of books, not just one little item, which is the VHS tape. This is not All Hallows Eve, people. This is a whole library, which any of these items could have been chosen. This is like Friday the 13th, the series up in here. This is like, take your pick of, this is like Cabin in the Woods type of stuff. This is like, any of these items probably could have been picked from this public library, and it would have been on it probably. It's just not just this videotape. It's, you got the public library full of books, in addition to this VHS tape that just so happened to be chosen. You see what I'm saying? Like with Cabin in the Woods, it was like whatever they chose is what came to them. So had a book been chosen, then we would have gotten something in book form or something like that, right? So the possibilities are bountiful with where this film director producer can expound upon and create other creations and utilize the ideas that I've presented here. Excuse me, in this live stream, because of the elements that present itself, through visuals, television, books, VHS tapes, and so forth, and vis-a-vis. So, yeah, I just thought that was so cool to see that this is a new thing. I actually was like, whether I don't know, I was going through my own little thing. So my own big thing as far as movies go. When I saw that the characters were listening in, the characters on the VHS tape were listening in to the dinner conversation, like, what? I was like, I gotta mention this because that's something to mention. And yeah. I think all the avenues were looked at with making this, and I'm saying that, and I hadn't even seen the film. That was that was a cool avenue to ride down with that going on. So yeah, that's all I really gotta say. That's it for the film, as far as that film goes. And what I saw of the film and the movie reviewers of the film, I did see something similar, not necessarily though, but it was with the VHS tape seemingly. I did just read a book called I think it's called All These Sunken Souls, something like that, by Jordan Peele. It's actually by a lot of writers, and I thought this was the book that said it was likened to Lovecraft. So that's why I read it first. It wasn't recommended to me, but because I'm already reading Lovecraft, I thought I'd go ahead and read the book. I read it, yes. Actually, I read it the 31st. I read it on the 31st. And there's a story in there called Teeth. And in that story, there's mention of something going on with the VHS tape. it's not the focus, but you do notice it. It is mentioned, I should say. I noticed it. And if you're reading the book, I think you might notice it too. But yeah, it's mentioned. It's not the focus, but it is mentioned. And actually, when I was reading it, because it wasn't the focus, I almost missed what was going on. I gathered what was going on after I read the story and completed the book, and then I was thinking about it, and then I was like, oh, I was then I could piece it together and actually see what was going on. But yeah, while I was reading it, I was like, okay, that's not the focus, but it's being mentioned. So because it's being mentioned, it must be important. It must be doing something. So yeah. So that was that was the teeth story of all these sunken souls. I think that's the name of the book. Right now, I've started reading the one that was recommended, and it's called Screaming somewhere screaming or something like that. Out there screaming. Out there screaming. Something like that. Out there screaming. And it's by Jordan Peele. But yeah, it's also about, I mean, it's also written, a bunch of people wrote it. John Joseph? I think one of the writers is named John Joseph. And a lot of other writers. It's an anthology. So the other book is also an anthology. This one is an anthology. And this one, it doesn't have the description that it's likened to Lovecraft, but because I watched Lovecraft Country, this one has the description of the freedom fighters, the two freedom fighters going down the road like Lovecraft Country. But it's not. But Lovecraft isn't mentioned in the description. It's mentioned in the other one. And I was trying to find out, like, which story was Lovecraftian. I didn't necessarily see one that stuck out to me that was Lovecraftian to my knowledge. I mean, that's why I read it first. I was like, okay, let's get it. But yeah, I didn't see any. I didn't read anything in there that seemed like that I could, like, that was an actual carbon copy picture. Like, I don't know if I have to think about it more, or maybe somebody has to point it out to me and then I could see it. But from me reading it, I couldn't tell which story was Lovecraftian. So for All Sunken Souls, I think it's called All These Sunken Souls. All these sunken, S-U, sunken souls, S-O. Okay. So with Out There Screaming, I just started it, so I'm not even through the first story yet. But yeah, the description is like Lovecraft country, which is likened to Lovecraft, where Lovecraft Country, the series, where the two people gets off the bus. I forget why they gotta get off, but oh yeah, the bus is like separated into sections, whites only, and then coloreds in the back. That's what it says on the sign. And then something happens where oh, I know now. Now that I'm speaking it out. The tire gets a flat on the bus. And then somebody comes and pick up the pedestrians that were riding on the bus on the back of their truck. Like the back of their truck is like a hayride type of truck. So I think it's hay and hay. Yeah, hay. And they get on, but the two freedom riders, and I don't those two people necessarily, like per se, I don't think those two people, but they were the two in the back. I don't think they were freedom riders per se, like titled like that, but they were the two that were in the back, and they weren't allowed to ride on the hayride truck. So they had to get their luggage and make this walk down this road. And in the description of Somewhere Out There Screaming, it says two freedom riders have to walk down this road, and some things could be lurking. And in that scene, there was nothing lurking. But like later on, when Tick and his uncle and school friend are looking for the road to turn down, you can kind of get that sense that something is lurking. So it's like those two scenes combined in the description of this book. So yeah, I just started that book. I wouldn't say it, Out There Screaming. I just started that, and I haven't finished the first story yet, so I don't know. I don't know what's going on with this story yet. All These Sunken Souls, that was a good book. Oh my goodness. The details. Oh my days. The details. The details. Like, somebody was writing. Somebody was writing. Like, descriptive writing. So yeah, good job with the descriptive writing. I mean, they were painting that scene with that pencil, like whatever they used to, whether they used a pen and paper, pencil, paper, laptop, they were painting that scene with them words, because I could see it. And I could see what I could see. I could see what I could see. It's some stuff yeah, but yeah, that book is very visual. Like it's very detailed in the description of it all. Oh my goodness. And so yeah, the stories are cool. And the book was cool. So I figured I'd read this one, and I might read the other one that was suggested for the spooky season. We shall see. Possibly. I did think to come to you guys and let you know about some movies that I had already let you guys know about, but like I'm really not watching movies this year. I mean, I could recommend some to you, but I'm reading this year, so the movie that I did come to you guys with is a new one. So, and I hadn't even seen it. How about you see it? Peep that scene I'm telling you about when the screen peeking in on the dinner conversation, and let's chat about that and about where this public book library came from, and if anybody asked where it came from. Like those things are like so magical, right? So it's already a mysterious item anyway, and then what's in it could be magical as well, because books and you know, I mean, in this movie it was a VHS tape, but books are magical within themselves, and then you got the tale, and I'm just thinking about also the Babadook with that book, and then it coming to, and it's just so much you can enjoy with books. Even though this movie wasn't about a book, but I mean, it was about a book. It was some books in there that could have been chosen. What are some book movies you know about that could possibly be up in that public library? Let's make our own Friday the 13th slash book movie about this character that could go on these adventures through these books and learning tools. Oh my goodness. So yeah, what do you think about those public? I heard somebody say it was like a birdhouse. They likened it to a birdhouse. Those public libraries. I guess they're like a birdhouse. Yeah, I guess so. That have books in them. Have you seen them? Have you donated to them? I think I've donated to them. I think not recently, but when I did, and I I've looked at them. I'm trying to think if I've took a book. I don't know. I don't know if I've taken a book. I don't think so. I have looked, but yeah, I do tend to fancy my own personal library. So I may have been given a book. Now I do look because I have seen books just bestowed upon places here and there, and I'm like, oh, okay, like maybe somebody gave these books away or whatever. So I'm like, okay, let's see what these are. So yeah, screen is my Bookshop QR. Oh, right. We're supposed to be in the comments. Thank you so much for your thumbs up. Your support is always welcomed. I'm working on a website and I have added my buy me a coffees and buy me a coffee. So Kofi is buy me a coffee as well. You can change those things to make them say what you want to say, but I'm like, I don't know. Like, would you know what it is if I changed it? So I got my Kofi and my coffee. And right now both of them say buy me a coffee, and I am working on some things to make ready and available. Like, they are ready, available, up and running from what I started with them as and the things that I put on them. I would like to update them. You can see what I have on them already. I do have some coloring books on there already. I actually have a gnome pumpkin coloring book available, like gnomes and pumpkins and gnomes and jack-o'-lanterns. That's available. So that's 'tis the season right there. Some books, some crochet books. Knitting. You'll have to let me know if I have some knitting books on there. I do have crochet books on there. Possibly some knitting books on there because I do both. I do crochet and I and I enjoy knitting. What else? Is that it? So, I did mention flashcards and quizzes and tests for vocabulary for the books that I'm reading. So yeah, I kind of didn't want to mention that because that's what I'm working on to present. So that's gonna be something that I'll present as soon as it's ready. I mean, it's ready. I just have to premiere it. I have to premiere it. So I think the first one I did let you guys know it was the If We Were Villains book. And then I think the second one I did was The Next Best Fling. So I'm working on it myself. As far as vocabulary goes, and I would like to work on it and learn it as well. So yeah, I kind of don't want to be selfish and work on. I kind of want to work on it, but I'm like, well, maybe I could give it to you guys, and we all can work on it together, as far as like learning it, because I've created it already. But yeah, we could learn it together, and as we read the book this month. So those are new things that I'm working on. The web page. Oh yeah, I'm trying to get into the chat. Those are new things. The website, the blog is already available. I'm working on the website and I'm working on the vocabulary list with the quizzes and tests. Um, on the website and I'm working on the all right, so I'm in the chat now. I did start reading another book. I did not know it was a trilogy. Um, so now that I found out it was a trilogy, I've gone back and okay, so I was on book 2. I had started book 2. So the book I started was Reckless by Lauren Roberts. Is it Laura Roberts or Laura Robertson? I think it's just Roberts. Laura. Okay. Um so they were going back and forth, back and forth. They were like, okay, so the chapters are like that. Like this chapter will be this character, this chapter will be this character. So and then they got to a point where, well, the girl, she wouldn't harm the boy. Like she's on the run from him, and then he kind of catches her, but he doesn't. And then when she has an opportunity to off him, she doesn't take it. But now he's done harmed her, and he looking out for her, and they having this inner dialogue when they are in each other's presence and when they not. They like thinking about each other and talking about the past. And I got to that part and I was like, y'all, I thought somebody was gonna do something, but wait, was that after they fought? Because that might have been like right after they fought in the arena. They were supposed to fight because she had fought in the arena for some money. So she had took like a fighting challenge to earn some money, and she won her match. And then here he comes talking about, so do you want to fight me? And she like, I really was trying to get away from you, and but she done put her on the spot. So now, I think they were supposed to be going back to the arena. So the referee, he was like, let her. Well, I don't think he knows if it's a her or not because she's covered up. So he called her by her fight name and was like, let let the person breathe a little bit. Like, I think her fight name is like Fire. And so when the referee asks for his name, he says his name is Smoke or something like that. So he like, yeah, whenever there's fire, there's smoke. So they like each other, but yeah. So that's where I'm at with that book. I set that book down. That's book 2 of the trilogy. Okay, so That's Reckless, book 2. Um, book 1 is Powerless. So I got Powerless and started reading Powerless. And Powerless is kind of more or less the same thing. It's just an earlier timeline. But it's cute. It's so cute. I don't know why, but it's cuter than Reckless. I'm enjoying Powerless. Powerless is like, okay, they hadn't met yet, but the part where I'm at in the book, they just met. And maybe that's why it's cute, because they just met. um so yeah, they just met. She doesn't like him off rip because he's like a fighter for the king. She doesn't know as like all the way who he is, but the book tells us that he's one of the king's sons. He's basically a prince. And I don't know if she knows that, but she does wind up finding that out. And yeah, so she's just not meeting him. She doesn't like him because of what he does and this. I don't think he knows her personally, but he's like, he like her style. He like her steez. Like he like her stilo. Like he I don't know. Like he yeah. So she jumped into a fight or something. And so I don't know if he like her because of that, or like it's just their interaction period is why he might be feeling her. So like right now it's on her time. Like she's talking, he's walked away, and he, like, when he walked away, he was like, oh yeah, by the way, all the ladies love me. And I'm like, what? I was like, I'm gonna quote you on that. He's like, oh yeah, by the way. I don't know if he said by the way, but he said something like that. He was like, because she asked him something, and the answer to her question for him, he was answering that, because I think also when he was walking away, she was thinking it. And she was like, he didn't answer my question. And then he turned back around and was like, yeah, to answer your question, yeah, all the ladies love me. And I'm like, okay, I'm about to go and quote you. And he gave a wink. He was like, yeah, all the ladies love me. Yeah, and gave a wink. So that's where I'm at in Powerless. And yeah, that's that's where I'm at. Okay, so he came and did what he does because he has orders from the king, and to do what he does. And if he don't do what he does, he get in trouble. So, but he's taking it upon himself to like make it a rule, like no children and stuff like that. But really, he's prolonging. He says he's prolonging the inevitable. So yeah, he got that inner dialogue struggle with himself and obeying the king, his father. And then he was looking for somebody. I don't even know. I think he let them go after the ordeal with the girl, meeting her. So he has powers. He has the ability to utilize other people's powers that are around him. And so that's kind of what he was doing, like he had started doing. And then there was somebody at a small distance, not they kind of was at it, but they kind of like blocked him. Like they kind of did like a little Magneto type of thing and blocked him, and then he couldn't use anybody's powers. And then he was getting a headache because the person was blocking him. And then, so yeah, that person had like the power to block him from utilizing other people's power. And then she came along, and she doesn't have power. She says she's like normal, or what she call herself? No, I don't know. She called herself like normal or something. She say something like she doesn't have powers, but she says she's a psychic. What she does is she pays attention to a person, and she can tell like where they walk because the dust on their shoes. She can gather information. She can gather information by a person's movements, by their appearance, what information she can take in, and then she can make an assumption. She can make a good assumption and be near to what's going on. But yeah, she'll look at a person and gather the clues and be like, did this happen? And then they like, get out of here, like whether they like because that's what she did to somebody that stopped her. I think he was like a guard or something, and she gathered the information, and she also like looked at like how they were moving, how they got tense, what they did with their mouth. So she really was like taking in the information, and then she could conclude her response. So yeah, that's what she does. And I don't know, she jumped in to this person that was blocking him and took him down. And then he was like, what are your powers? I can't use your powers. And then she was like, I don't have any for you to use. I'm a psychic. And then so they got each other's names and stuff like that. And he went on about his merry way and left her there. And now she's trying to think what. And then that's when he turned around and was like, yeah, all the ladies love me. And I'm like, okay, dude. Okay, peeps. You finna teach her how to Dougie now, right? All the ladies love me. All the ladies love me. She ain't messing with his Dougie, okay? So that's why I am on that. So that's Powerless. So yeah, I just started that book like, I don't know, maybe the 30th, maybe. After finding out that it was the first book of a trilogy. So reading that, and like I said, like they're similar. They are similar. I was like, dang, it's pretty similar, but it's similar to the fact where they're going back and forth. And Powerless is like them just meeting. Reckless, I almost kind of want to say you can read Reckless without reading Powerless. I almost kind of want to do that, but I hadn't even read either one of them all the way through to make that assumption. I mean, I can make an assumption. I mean, to make that true. Yeah, okay. So Reckless is doing some recap. So when I was reading Reckless, I mean, it did so much recap as it was going on. When I started reading Powerless, I was like, okay, so I almost thought we was at the beginning scene of Reckless. Like the scenes are very close. They're very close. And then it kind of veers and it's a different scene. But what it seemed like is they're continuously in this cat and mouse game throughout these books, it seems. So yeah, I'm liking Powerless, uh, because I do get to see that how they met, um, and I get to see the king, because in Reckless the king is only mentioned, and then there's a new king. One of the sons is king. So yeah, it's a flowing book. Like it flows. So yeah, that's what I'm currently reading. In addition to uh, The Next Best Fling, and I I don't know what's going on with me in this book. I started reading it yesterday. I have had to read the same section over and 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 over. Yes, I'm being literal. Like, I've read this scene so many times. Like, I've read like up to a scene, and then I've had to go back to, I think, chapter 8 or 6. Ugh. And I'm like, okay, just set this down and come back to it at a later date. uh, so yeah, I set it down, and because I was reading it earlier today, and so I had to sit it down, and that's where that book is at the moment. I'm up to like chapter 6 to maybe 8. I keep going back. I got up to like 11, and I just keep going back because I'm like, what's going on? Like, the 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 writing seems very drawn out as far as the scene. Like, I'm ready for the, and see, they probably did it. That's probably why I'm going back, because I'm like, I feel like I was missing something. They were supposed to be, was it going to like a engagement party, or they were going to a party to these to their friends, but they're not really friends. Like, I'm like, how y'all just perpetrating, like, you just put on the risk. Like, if you don't like these people, leave them alone. Like, oh my goodness. Like, so this girl, she kind of jelly because this other girl is dating this boy that she likes. But I'm like, but he don't like you. Like, leave him alone. Let him go. He done gone. Ugh. He don't like you. He don't like you. He like her. He like her. He like her. Like, you can tell he like her. Like, but she kind of jelly about. She kind of jealous of the girl, and she not really her friend, and because she going with her man in her head. And I'm like, just let it go. But she says she can't. She says she can't. So that's where the reading come from. Like, she says she can't let him go. She says she tried. So we there with her. We're there with her, trying to let this person go and be happy for them. And then she gets with this person that is jealous of the boy, Ben, and so she jealous of the girl, the boy jealous of the boy, Ben, and they get and I'm like, oh my goodness, why are y'all going to these people functions that y'all don't even like? So the boy, he liked the girl and she likes Ben. I'm like, y'all just need to leave these people alone. And then, but they don't know that each other is jealous of them or likes them, but then they find out. Like the girl finds out the guy likes the girl. And I think it's a wedding, like somebody getting ready to get married. And they trying to, well, the man, the boy, he's trying to talk himself into confronting Ben and like saying, hey, I like that girl and boop, boop, boop. And I'm just like, y'all really just trying to mess something up because these two people don't even like y'all like that. So if y'all were to come up and say, hey, I like y'all and this, that, and that, they don't like y'all. Like they're not gonna turn around and be in a relationship with you all. Like just leave them alone. Just go. just so we there with them, and so she found out he jealous of Ben, and then because she didn't know how close they were, so yeah, so they trying to figure out what they gonna do, how they gonna do. So they together jealous, two jealous people is together scheming and plotting to see what they gonna do and not gonna do. So when they got together and started scheming and plotting, I just kind of blanked out a little bit. So I was like, what happened? So then I go back to the previous chapters to try and figure out what happened, because I think they start a relationship or something. So that's where I'm like, I'm clueless, like on that part. I'm like, wait, what? Like you were just supposed to be picking him up from the airport or wherever she picked him up from, because he from out of town. So yeah, I'm gonna give it another go when I'm fully focused on it so that I can see what happened. Because I'm like, what are y'all doing? I'm like, what are y'all doing? And they make it, they like, I'm like, did y'all just make a jealous relationship for y'allself? Like, y'all together, what? And then, so the other two, the couple that's like engaged and happy together, they're like, I didn't want to tell you this, talking to the jealous people, like, y'all don't talk to them jealous people. I didn't want to tell you this because I didn't think you were ready. I didn't think you had moved on and boop, boop, boop. But so and so and so and so and so. So I kind of like, okay, I need to stop reading. Let me go back, see what had happened. So that I can get some clarity. See if there even is some clarity to be had. Because I have read this section between chapter 6 and chapter 11, like so many times, to see what so that's where I'm at with that book. And that's really all the updates of what's going on. Fun books and movies. Yeah, that book right there. I'm like, okay, just come back at it when I'm fresh. Are you enjoying the wonderful world of reading like I am, or in your own way? Oh yeah, speaking of own way, I want to say this about the movie that's in the title of this live stream. There's supposedly a catchy song. I'm saying supposedly because I have not seen the movie. I just wanted to talk about the movie from the clips and movie reviews that I did view. And I heard a bit of the song. And the bit of the song that I did hear reminded me of Different Strokes, the show. Na 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 na. Okay, how the song in the movie starts off? It starts off with that rhythm, that the producer director called it a cadence, but I don't recall the song he was referring to when he said that song was likened to a cadence. I think he was just speaking in general for a cadence of a catchy song. It's just when I hear that first boop 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 1 2 3 friend like you bump bump bump, that's the same 1 2 3 as what did I say? Different Strokes. Yeah. Now the world, da da da. Now the world don't move. Now I don't know if the rest of the song is like that, but just that first part is like, okay. I guess you could call that a catchy song, that Different Strokes song. But yeah, like friend like you, need that friend like me. I don't know if that's how the song go, but that was the that's what I heard. So yeah, let me know if you guys have seen the clips. There's trailers and movie reviews, and do you plan on watching it? If you haven't, let me know. How you gonna fare along with this movie and the possibilities of this movie and movies and books. I don't know, there's other movies and books. Speaking of movies and books, remember, Lord have mercy, remember what's it called? It's called, oh my goodness, it's a whole movie. It's a whole anthology about a book story, a book tale, Dead Time Stories. Yeah, that's what it's called, Dead Time Stories. And it's a whole anthology about this uncle reading these dead time stories to his nephew. And I'm just thinking, oh my goodness, like a crossover. So what I've been saying with what I mentioned, and I didn't say the word crossover, but that's what I was referring to, like a crossover with these movies, with these books, and have this character cross over into these other movies. Oh my goodness. I mean, the uncle in that movie, he did he something happened to that uncle in that movie. But yeah, to see like these crossovers, that could happen. Like, that's a big possibility with how this movie has presented itself. It's presented itself to being possible endless possibilities of crossovers and series, because it's likened to like the if that's where the director take it. Now if I start writing it, that's where I'm going with it. If the director producer take it there, then he can take it there. It's like in like the series, the Friday the 13th series, with the different objects having different stories behind them, and I think that's similar. It's different, but it's similar because you got the VHS tape, and this movie only focused on the VHS tape. And what I mentioned at the beginning of this live stream was, what are those other books in that thing? What are those other books? So that's a possibility for other series, like that public library that just happened upon the lawn. It wasn't even there. Now see, that part even is its own thing. And then there's the VHS tape, and then there's what goes on. But yeah, this public library thingy happens upon the lawn, and it's full. It doesn't just have the VHS tape. It also has books, and it's full. It's not scraggly, so it doesn't need books. Like, it's full to the capacity. Like, there's books laying on its side. Like, there are big books, like not novels, tiny books. There are big books. There are look like chapter books. They're pretty big books. And so yeah, I'm like, what are those? So if the producer take it there and do the series on the items that are in the public library, that's a possibility. And then also the library coming down and being bestowed upon the land, that's a possibility too, because like, before anything pops off, this library is appearing. It's like it's like something happened. I don't know. I didn't watch the movie. But this library appeared now. And then, okay, so there are reasons, perhaps, like, like, what do you call that? Kind of like, I want to say, like, Queen of Hearts, and how she went and had her visit with the caterpillar, and then the caterpillar told her future in code, and then so she knew, but she didn't know because it was coded. And as it was unfolding, she recalled what the caterpillar told her. So it was like she couldn't she couldn't change it, but she knew, but she didn't know till it happened. Like, when it happened, after it happened, she was like, oh, that's what the caterpillar said. So I'm like, well, dang, like, why he even tell her? But I'm like, I mean, it didn't help her change it. Like, so it's that thing, in a sense, like, the library already showing up is like, there's seems to be no room for change, possibly, like, it's already gonna happen before they even choose an item from the library. So yeah, he does say something like, "This is my house now," or something like that. Something to that effect. Like, "This is my house now." But it seems like it would be his. I don't know. Like, when was the invitation? Because like with vampires, you gotta invite them in. So when was the invitation to turn that over to his house? Like, was the invitation getting somebody to the book library thingy, or was it? I guess it was after, just before he said that. Just before he said that, like after everything has been said and done, then he's like, "This my house now." But it seemed like he set up shop. I mean, he did literally set up shop prior to. I guess the deed has been turned over to him after all is said and done. So yeah, cool concept. A lot of possibilities and opportunities. Let's see. Do, 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 do. Um, yeah, I said that because the library looks to had been bestowed upon the front lawn of the home of the house. So it wasn't like they had to go down the street. It wasn't like they saw this public library in town, in the city, downtown, somewhere else. No, this thing was boom, right in the smack dab of the front line where the mailbox would be. It was up there. Like, here you go. You don't have to walk anymore. Like, you don't have to look no more. Like, so yeah, it seemed like he set up shop right then, and then to allow. But he does say, "Oh well, I guess this is after the tape." I'm kind of getting into it without watching it, so I kind of might need to back up and not continue the conversation. But like, he does say like the children call him, so in that sense that puts me in the mind of another movie where children calls upon Krampus, where they for whatever reason they call Krampus. This one Krampus movie where this child called Krampus, they called him in a letter. They wrote a letter, and that's how they called him. But I don't think that letter was addressed to Krampus. Like, wait a minute, Krampus, you reading other people's mail. Like, I think that letter was addressed to Santa. But yeah, it's been a while since I watched the movie. But yeah, somehow Krampus is called, I guess because they're sad, or something like that. So this could be in the same way that this character is called, like perhaps the child is sad, so that like brings on awareness to that character that tuned in to that frequency. So it's all kind of like, as I'm saying this, it kind of like the Fat Albert movie where Doris is crying and Fat Albert can hear it. and Fat Albert goes to help Doris. Is her name Doris or Dolores? Doris or Dolores? I don't know. It's been a while since I saw that too, but that's kind of how it is seemingly. I haven't seen the movie, but from what I've seen, that seems like that's what it is, because I'm going by what he's saying as well. And he's like, yeah, the children call him. I don't think they're getting on the phone, but maybe like those things that I just mentioned. Like, I didn't see any child write letters, but like more kind of like the Fat Albert with the tears and the crying, but I didn't see anybody crying either. So he got his own signal that he's tuned into, and he hears his call. So he come a running, and that TV scene where the characters like listening in to that dinner conversation, oh my goodness, that take the cake for me. Like, I hadn't even seen the movie, but that scene right there, that's enough. That is enough. Like, that scene is so scary. It's scary. Like, I'm like, it's like they listening. Like, oh my goodness! If you see it, let me know. And see that scene where the characters on the screen are listening in to the dinner scene, and you tell me what that looked like. Like, I'm just like, so yeah, that seemed the creepiest to me. Out of all the clips I saw, I've seen like the world, his world, and the clocks and the chair that kind of reminded me of Cherry from another show. I like Cherry. I wouldn't mind having my own Cherry. So yeah, I've always liked Cherry, and I've always thought of having my own Cherry. Have me sit and give me a hug. But yeah, tell me what you think of that scene, and how you like that scene of the movie. From even the clips, even if you don't watch the movie. If you do watch the movie, let me know. Be looking out for that scene. If you don't watch the movie and you're not into that, watch the clips if you want to, because that's kind of how I get around watching scary movies, is I watch clips. So I'm like, yeah, watch clips. But yeah, that was a cool clip right there. And then how he goes down, like after he hears what he want to hear, and he heard what he heard, he was like, oh, that's it. He was like, I'm coming over for dinner. He was like, ew. And let me mention this, because this is what I wanted to mention. I saw this too. I thought, like in the trailer, I thought he told the little boy to like excuse himself and go in the room. I didn't know he had that little boy sitting there watching all of that. I'm like, that ain't right. Like, he want to be right and say that the parents wrong. I'm not saying that, I'm just saying, like, that wasn't right. Like, and the boy just sitting up there just giggling. And also, I want to know what that cotton candy was really made of, because fake stuff be made out of something else. Like, was that really cotton candy? I don't think that could really be cotton candy. Like, what was that really? Like, what alternative was that? It might have looked like cotton candy, but what was it for real? Like, was it? It could have been a number of things. It could have been a couple of things. Like, dude. And the boy just sitting there just enjoying himself with his cotton candy. But yeah, I thought he had excused him from the trailer. But when I saw the clip and then it was cut, it was going back and forth, I was like, he excused that boy, didn't he? And then as I kept watching more of the clip, I'm like, no, he didn't. That boy is sitting right there. So who is the person to call him out? But yeah. Yeah. I enjoyed the clips that I did see and the movie reviews that I did view. Great job, everyone, creating movie reviews. And movies to be reviewed. Great job. Like, okay, directors, producer, writer, tech, editor. So we sitting up here just talking about your creations. From what I gathered, I think the boy was asked to eat his peas. There's a whole skit about peas on all that with Miss, what's her name? Miss P? I don't know. But yeah. It's a character that don't like peas. Or no, she love peas. And then there's a song, give peas a chance. All I am saying is give peas a chance. Something like that. And I'm like, I think they were peas. When I saw the person tell the child, eat them peas, I was like, oh hell, there go them damn peas. I'm like, who like them things. I had my own situation, and it's the peas. I had my own situation when I was little. I had to eat peas. I'm like, I don't like these things. And then what child like them peas? I don't know. I don't know who told these people to feed these children these peas. But I didn't like them peas. If they the same peas that I didn't like, oh boy, get up from the table. You ain't gotta eat them peas. Like, what? Like, I mean, maybe somebody need to go to some pea cooking classes and fix them things up, because they is just not the bee's knees eating them peas. They just not. Like, I didn't eat my peas when I was them things would be the last thing on my plate. And they just so different. Like, they roll and things like that. So I started smashing them up, and then like I was able to eat them. Like, who can eat peas? Like, they roll off of your fork. You can try and poke them, but then it look like you playing with your food. All you really trying to do is get the peas on the dang fork. You really just trying to pick up some peas off it, put them on the fork, and you just can't. They just can't be done. So I started smashing them, and then after I started smashing the peas with the back of the fork, then they're able to be scooped up and ate. But if you're not smashing them peas, they not getting on that fork. Who get them on the fork? Who do that without looking like they playing with their food or eating one pea at a time? Like, you gonna look like you playing with your food, and then you an adult, and I guess you forget how you eat peas, because I know you was rolling them peas off of your fork and trying to pick them up with your fork, and they weren't getting on your fork too. And then you an adult and you trying to get somebody to eat something you ain't eat. I bet you didn't eat them peas when you was little. I'm like, the only way you could get them on your fork is to smash them up. So I started smashing my peas up, and then I was able to eat it with a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Put some little flavoring on it, like with the other foods, with the other food flavors. Eat it like that with the other food flavors, because they weren't even who flavors they peas. Like, you giving us unflavored peas, and then they got their own little taste that don't even go with the meal. Like, do better. Somebody come out create a pea recipe, because the way you serving it up is not it. The way they served is not it. And then thinking that just leave the peas off the menu. If you gonna put the peas on the menu, you better deck them out. Add some flavoring to them. Maybe even smash them up so they be easier to put on the forks. Because I know us little children, we weren't putting them up on the fork the way y'all wanted us to. Y'all forgot how y'all ate peas and think we supposed to be pea eatingologists at the age of 6. No. We ain't figured out how to eat them peas. Have y'all figured out how to eat them peas as an adult without smashing them? They falling off your forks too. And then to the point you like, forget this. Like, it ain't even worth it. Like, they don't even taste that good to be going through all of that. if you hadn't, seasoned them or whatever, you just heated them up. Do peas even have their own recipes? I know there are pea dishes, but they're just dishes with the peas added to them. So that ain't even seasoning the peas. Added it to something else, but they do kind of get like a flavor with them. But nah, like really pea, I don't. That might just need it since adults like to have them children eat the peas. Let that be an adult meal, because you know how like certain ages aren't supposed to eat certain things, like, and if they do, they're supposed to be cut up. Like certain ages aren't supposed to eat popcorn because it's a choking hazard, or I don't know, chopped up hot dogs or whatever. Like they supposed to be chopped in fours or halves or something like that. Like peas need to be maybe, I don't know, like it don't need to be a little child food, because everything be all good, and then it be a dinner with some peas, and then that's when that's when somebody want to say, you better eat all your food before you get up from the table. Like, wait a minute. When you cook lasagna, I had seconds and thirds. Like, make this something I want to eat, and then I eat it. But until then, y'all creating problems. Like, we ain't even got to go through this. If you just leave them peas alone, and you ain't even got to be all that. Like, let this be a pea-free meal. Like, we ain't even got to go through all that. Just, like, we were just tight before the meal. Now you want to fight. Like, leave them peas alone. Like, what really is them peas? Because they just caused the uproar and trying to tear the family apart. We might need to look further into that, because how we all close, and then when it comes to these peas, everybody want to fight. Peas is breaking up a happy home. That's what it is. We found it then. All we are saying is give peas a chance. Them peas breaking up a happy home. We was all cool, happy, laughing, setting the table, saying grace. How you gonna get mad after you done said some grace? Goodness. It's like saying, you better eat all your ice in your cup. Like, wait, these peas, they should be considered, what do you call that? Decor? They should be considered, what the little leaves and things on the plate is called, not decor. Not decorations. What is that? Like lemon slices. Like sometimes you don't eat the lemon slices, and then you don't eat the little, okay, the little mint leaves that are meant to be decorative. Let's see what it's called. That might be how peas should be. Like, peas is not an option. Like, This some stuff you put on the plate for. This is something you put on the plate for. I don't know. I was thinking haberdasheries and hippogriffs. I was thinking. um. Um. What? What did I just say? I said haberdasheries. Haberdasheries. And what? Yeah. Yeah. Peas is like a Tetris game. Like, oh, you put a Tetris game on my plate. Okay, this isn't edible. Like, this you playing. This you ain't want me to eat this. Like this. you ain't serious with it. 'Alright. Oh, you added a game to my meal, huh? This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You making meal times fun, huh? Because you just added this game to my plate. Uh-oh. I added another stitch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Why are you looking like you need a stitch? Oh, okay. I thought it might have needed a stitch. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It seems like it's missing one, but it's not. Okay. I don't know. All right. I'm crocheting a pouch for my phone, a case, a case for my phone. I don't know. Maybe put some honey on them peas or something. Because, okay, with the little baby food, with the little baby jar, who baby eat that? Like, all the babies like go, ugh, like, ugh. I don't know. Maybe it's some babies out there go, I don't know. Without something being added, though. Without something being added, okay, maybe. Yeah. Them things need seasoning or something, some butter or some onions. We gonna come up with a pea recipe if we want to present them peas again. Like them peas probably need some, like, just on the spot. I was thinking some onions, some garlic. Them peas would be woof. Them peas would be good. Like them peas would be yas. Like more please. Like y'all need to add something to the peas. Add it. Some spices, something, or either maybe put some honey in. I don't know if you want to put some honey on the peas. Eat them peas. That is not a family traditional dish you serving people. Why you getting huffy over some peas not being eaten? Garnish. That's the word I was thinking of. Garnish. Like the peas need to be considered a garnish on the plates. Like that's not even a dish. It's not even a dish. That's garnish. That's a little game y'all done put on the plate for the babies to play with. Like like oh my goodness. Like make a pea eating challenge and see how many uh see who wins. Because and don't smash it. And don't smash it. Use the forks. Because I don't know, y'all want these children to eat these peas with forks. With these peas rolling off of these forks. Do a pea eating challenge with the forks. Try and get them on the forks and have a ooh, that could be a movie scene. I'm thinking. Very inspiring. Oh yeah, very inspiring. Inspiration. Try and eat them. Try and eat. You don't even like them. You don't even like them, but you want somebody else to eat them. It's Big Mom's pecan, you know, like it's a family tradition. Something good. You had to like get something good to eat. Like you didn't throw down. You didn't add any seasoning. I don't know. You might have added seasoning, but I ain't seen no seasoning on it. You might have added butter, but I ain't seen no butter on it. Y'all just served them things up, heat it up. You didn't add nothing. You didn't let them soak overnight. You didn't. You didn't let them marinate in something. I don't know if it'd be tasted in either. Come up with a pea recipe book. Oh my goodness. Mm-mm. Lord. Eat peas the right way. Mm-hmm. Right. How you gonna get mad at somebody that don't even want to eat this? And it ain't even peas out of your own garden. It's not even peas out of your garden. It's probably not even frozen peas. It's probably the peas out of the can. What is it called? The yeah, out of the can. I thought of the green giant. But that's how that's how we was made to eat our peas. Green giant. But it's probably peas in the can, and then they didn't season it. They didn't add no butter, like. And then you think the child playing with them because they trying to get these peas on the fork, and it's just not worth it to be trying to eat some peas that ain't getting on the fork anyway. And you ain't even taught the child how to scoop the damn things on the fork. Um, so this child trying to pick at them, trying to scoop them. Then you probably don't want the child to use their hands. To try and scoop these things on the fork. You haven't given them, the proper skills set to put the things on the fork the continental way, the US way. Nothing. You just say, here, eat the peas. And this child trying to eat these peas and then see that it ain't even worth it. Like the taste ain't even worth it. All of that, and then the taste ain't even worth it. Oh, I think the character that I was referring to with the song Give Peas a Chance, I think that character is named Miss Prickly. I think. Is it Miss Prickly? Or Miss Pearly? No, not Miss Pearly. Miss Prickly. I think it's Miss Prickly. And she's a lunch lady. She's a cafeteria lady. And she loves peas. And none of the children really like peas, except for a few. There are a few that'll come through the line and ask for peas. And she'll say something and give them some peas or not give them some peas or whatever. that skit is hilarious. Miss Prickly. I think her name is Prickly. Keenan Thompson plays that character. And Kel Mitchell plays one of the children that likes peas. So, or does he play a character that doesn't like peas? I don't know. I think he says it could be a couple of different skits, and maybe one skit he says he does like them, and then maybe one skit he says he doesn't like them. I think one skit he's like, ew, no, I don't like peas, or something like that. I don't know. And then there's another skit that maybe he says he does like them. But yeah, I think the same thing with Amanda. I think her name is Amanda Bynes, and she has her tray, and I think she has a skit where she says, I love peas. And Miss Prickly puts a bunch of them on her plate, and she's like, okay, you can stop now. I think the same thing with Kel too. Like, he has a skit where he gets a bunch of peas on his plate too. But yeah, boy, it be them peas. Like, oh my goodness, what are them peas mission? Is the peas mission to break up a happy home, Lord? Or are they there for nutrition? Like, I think them peas got an agenda, Lord have mercy. Like, they don't be for the family. I don't think so. I don't think they for a happy home, Lord. They just be like, okay now, bring in the peas. Boom, 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 boom. And then tragic ensues. The peas missions are complete. Like, what? At ease, peas. They don't even be peas from your own garden. Mm-mm-mm. Standing up for somebody else's peas. All I am saying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just gonna go ahead and crochet a flat, and then I'm gonna fold it to make the front and back, and then sew it, so crochet it up the sides to create my cell phone case. I thought I had a pattern for it. I don't though, which is it is a basic project, but I wanted to utilize a pattern for it. The pattern that I have is for a one of those mini shuffles. I think that's what the name of those things are. Mini shuffles. So yeah, it's not as, and I'm not even using the same yarn weight. So I'm coming up with my own pattern here. I'm using a Barnett Chunky. And I tried to do the single stitch with the Barnett Chunky. I just, because if you didn't know, the stitches would be closer. But I don't know, like, I don't too much care for that stitch with the Barnett yarn. Like, the Barnett yarn seems to be like for the double crochet stitch. I don't think I've made anything with the single stitch that I can recall and like how it looks. Like, I know the functionality of it with it being closer together, but I might sew I might add some fabric to this because this does have some big openings because of the stitch being bigger, versus with the single stitch that I didn't go with because I wasn't feeling how it was looking. I was feeling the double crochet stitch with this Bernat yarn, so yeah, I might add some fabric to the inside of the case. All I am saying is give people a chance. That was my prickly soul, boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 across. I meant to go for 7 across, but I wound up with 8 across. 8 stitches. I meant to go for 7, but 8 is cool. 8 is cool. 8 is cool. It'll probably, give me the more room I need to connect the sides. So the 8th will be the connecting sides. Well, actually, it would be 6 would be the connecting sides because the 2 on the sides are going to be the inside. So I don't know. But I'm a gotta check and see how that's gonna be. If that's gonna be too close together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. If you're looking for some spooky books, depending on what spooky you're looking for, I did just read the what's called All These Sunken Souls. I did just read that on the 31st. Before that, I read like a couple of days before that, I read the Hunger Games series. That's a pretty spooky book. The Hunger Games is a pretty spooky series. Like I said, depending on what spooky you're looking for, the Hunger Games series is pretty spooky. I read that. I'm reading Tales of H.P. Lovecraft by H.P. Lovecraft. That's pretty spooky. I mean, I wouldn't consider it spooky, but I mean, yeah. It to other people, it is. It is. But yeah, I like that. But I'm like actually like reminding myself like, look, you was reading me. You were reading Poe, Edgar Allan Poe. This is H.P. Lovecraft. This is not Edgar Allan Poe. Which Edgar Allan Poe is he so yeah, this H.P. Lovecraft right here, like they a bit different. They a bit different. They a bit different. So yeah, I'm reading H.P. Lovecraft. And I actually had to sit it down. I was doing my best to finish it in October. But there's been a few times where I've read the book. I'm reading it, and then it's like when do I blink? It's like because I'm reading it and the way he's describing it, it's like I'm just like taking it all in. Like it's like listening to like a radio show. It's how it's written. Like I don't know if you've heard of radio shows before, but it's detailed. I mean, I guess that's how a book is written too. Yeah, but it's very detailed. It's descriptive. Like it's not just detailed, it's descriptive, like as in what the person is doing. As I say this, I'm like, isn't that what a book does? But I mean, it's different. It's like it's more detailed. It's like reading the text from a radio show. That would be a radio show with text. Anyways, and with reading all of that, it's like I'm reading it. Like it's just okay. Where do I blink at? Where do I blink, sir? Because this information you giving me, I'm soaking it up. Like so. Literally have to put the book down so that I can blink. Who else blinks while they're reading? Okay. Let me know if there are books where you have to sit down so you can blink. Um, cause you visioning it. You you envisioning it. Like it's like I see what you're saying. um, so yeah, H.P. Lovecraft, Hunger Games, The Prince. I read last month. Um, all these sunken souls. Now that's spooky specific. Spooky season specific was all these sunken souls that I read on the 31st. I specifically read that book because that one was spooky, and that one was spooky too. It was spooky too. So now I'm reading Out There Screaming. I think it's Out There. Yeah, I think that's what it's called. Out There Screaming. I'm reading that too because it's specifically spooky. Um, so I can get a specifically spooky bookie. And for those of you that are watching movies, the movie that I mentioned in this film is one of my recommendations. I kind of want to tell you guys about an older film that I watched, like the other previous years ago. It's almost been like maybe 1 or 2 years ago now. I see it available. I see the thumbnail, and it's called Human Resources. That movie there is one of my recommendations. Also, since I'm gonna recommend that one, but yeah, that one, Human Resources. Is with a young man who takes up a job at a hardware store. And then I think it becomes it becomes the holiday season, and I think it specifically becomes either Thanksgiving or Christmas. So that'll be a cool movie for you. Excuse me. During this, it's on season. It's on season. So that's my recommendation for this season. Like I think they're like getting ready for Black Friday. One of these holidays is coming up. They're getting ready for it in the hardware store. So that's like on time for that if you want to watch that. If you're still watching Halloween movies, a movie I would recommend is Haunted Trails. Is it called The Haunted Trail? It's called The Haunted Trail. I would recommend that movie if you're still watching Halloween movies, because that's about a haunted trail. That's about it's Halloween night and some friends go out to this haunted trail. That's what the movie's about. So I recommend those two movies. So if you want to watch the Halloween one first while you're eating up whatever you got going on from the previous day, you can watch, your Haunted Trail, and then you can watch your Human Resources sometime later on this month. If you don't want to watch it now, you can watch it later on this month or maybe next month. And that's it, really. Like, get into these books. Like, I read a Hunger Games series in less than 24 hours. That book right there, that series, oh my goodness. Like, if you are hesitating starting a book, like, you just never know what book you gonna just be finished with like that. Like, some books take longer than other books. So you just never know. Like, I've read so many books while I'm still reading so many books. Like, some books are quicker than other books. It's amazing. It's magnificent. It's wonderful to enjoy books at the same time you're enjoying books. Like, what? I used to think that I had to finish a book to read another book. Anyways, I'm done with that thought. Like, that ain't even the truth. I can read books on books on books while I'm reading books on books on books, and it's still good. Like, I'm enjoying it. So yeah, that's something new that I've picked up, and I'm enjoying. Enjoying. I'm enjoying it. So I do encourage you to enjoy it as well. I mean, let me know what you think. You probably think you gotta read one book before you start another one too. You probably do. You probably like, I'm reading this book, I can't start this book. I mean, that's how I was. But then I'm like, wait, really? Like, you just set that book down and then pick up the other one. That's it. There you go. Yeah, now you read it. So yeah, it's been fun discovering that I can read multiple books. And the different vibes and feelings and lengths, and there's like the different writing. Like, it's like, wow, that book went so quick. and I was hesitant. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna read this book. I might put it off till next year and read it next year. I done read the whole series. Like, really? Why wait to read a book next year? Like, come on, book, let's get read this year and enjoy it, and then we be on to the next series. So yeah, I was like, wow, you really hold yourself from enjoying things that you could enjoy in the moment by doing that. You really holding yourself back from the joys of reading when you do that. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay. Like, yeah, it really don't make sense. I mean, you watch shows and movies and things like that, and yeah, like you said, you set it down, you pick up another book, you read it, boom, so that's been a great discovery for me to realize you can read more than one book at a time and be good and enjoy it and read the next one. Shoot, I'm like, where the next one at? What is it? So I already got enough on my plate. Like, I'm up to 8. It seems like, I don't know though. I got room for improvement. I do have room for improvement. I do see some great readers that are encouraging, inspirational. I see some great inspirational readers, and I see where I can improve, and I also see where I can enjoy where I'm at, and then also improve upon. So enjoy. Okay. And it's like a muscle, right? So I'm flexing my reading muscle, like, getting it stronger. Like if I want to be at a certain level, or if I'm seeing somebody else at a level, I'm like, okay, I see them. That's cool. That's what's up. Like, okay. Let me see what I can do, if I can do it. And if I can do it, I can do it. But if I can't, I'm just not there yet. And that's okay. And I'm enjoying where I'm at as what, I'm enjoying where I'm at and what I've done and what I can do. And the books that I've enjoyed, and learning that I can read more than one book, and I can read in the present. Now, I think that is so awesome, with coming from having stacks of books, shelves of books with books that have been sitting on my shelf waiting to get read, to picking up a book and reading it right then and there, choosing a book and reading it right now. Like, that is so fire. Like I was like, yes. And what else? Like, that is amazing. Like that space right there, like picking up a book, reading it right there, that's something else. Also, searching for books, gathering books, putting them on your to be read list, putting them on your shelves for a later date. That's something else too. Now, that's fun too. I like doing that. I do like that. That's a whole nother thing. Like, that's not even reading, but you gathering, you reading. You might be reading the description, you might be reading the title. You're like, okay, that sounds like something I want to read. That's a whole nother action within itself that I do enjoy, and I can get engulfed in. So you have that. You have, and then for that to move and rotate, for you to start incorporating those books that you said you were gonna read to now you are reading. Hey, it's so fun. It's so fun to see the pages moving and you read it. And we got people reading outside and enjoying the weather. We got people sharing their experiences with the books that they read, and I'm enjoying all of it. We got people doing book challenges and reading 10 minutes a day. And I'm like, yes, more please. Okay, more please. This is my piece. Books are my piece. Okay. I will eat these peas. Okay. I'm trying to see how I can eat more peas. How I can read more. But like I said, it's like a muscle. It's a muscle that I've noticed. Like, I can go a certain distance, and then I'm like, whoa, Nelly. Let me refill my canteen and find some shelter from this scorching, heat, and relax, and then pick it back up later. Like you put in, you read, good job. Now, take 5 or take 15 or pick it up the next day, So, I got my 10 in, my 10 minutes plus, you're doing good. Start with 10 minutes a day and build from there. That's what I did to start reading every day. Now I was reading, but I was only reading like on the weekend, or on the weekend plus maybe Wednesday and Thursday, like a couple of days out of the week. And then I made it a priority, and started with 10 minutes a day, and then went from there, which which my 10 minutes a day grew into 80 minutes a day, because I was reading 8 books at a time. So I was like, wait a minute. I was like, you're reading 80 minutes a day, right? Like, you're not just reading 10 minutes. You're reading 18 minutes. So I'm like, okay. So I started veering off a little bit, and I would read 10 minutes of all the books, and then go back and read the books that I was most interested in reading. And then I stopped that reading 80 minutes a day and reading the other books. And what I would do was just stick more to the books that I was interested in reading. So what happened was I had like 8 books that I was starting. So it made sense to read them like that. And then the ones that I felt like I wanted to read more of, I got more into them. So then those became my focus. So you could do it like that, and then focus on the ones that you're most interested in, and then go from there and keep reading those ones. And then do like the flip-flop back and forth. Or if you're tired of reading it, like sometimes I get tired of reading a certain book. It's not every book, but some books you gotta sit down. Some books you can read all the way from the beginning to the end, and I have had those books, and I like those books. I really like those books. Yeah, the books that I have to sit down, I'll go back to the other ones that I didn't focus on so much. So then I'll bring those books up and do a rotation like that. I'll do a rotation read like that. So that's how I've been reading multiple books, as I'll rotate them. So yeah, that's what's been going on with my reading experience for the month of October. So I just started doing that in October. September was a totally different type of reading, because there was different types of book titles. August was a different type of reading. July was a different type of reading. April was a different type of reading. I think for those months, I would only read one book at a time. I think for October, that's when I started reading multiple books in October. I think that's how that happened. I'll have to go back and look to make sure, but just right off the top of my dome, I just started reading 8 books at a time last October, or this past October. But yeah, before that, I was reading one book at a time. Sometimes I would read 3 books in a day, but I would only read them one at a time. So, or 2 books in a day, but I would only read them one at a time. So yeah, October I started reading multiple books. So yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen this month. I'm looking forward to what's going on this month. A continuation of reading multiple books, in addition to being in book clubs and participating in book clubs. So yeah, reading book club books. That's what's starting this month. Um, Continuing my goal of reading all of my bookshelf books. Adding vocabulary to the mix. Vocabulary, quizzes, and lists. Tests. So those are the things that's off top. And on the go, I did finish my other book club book called If We Were Villains. That book was nothing like I thought it was gonna be. It was alright though. I liked it. It was alright. I was reading it. I thought it was gonna pop off. I guess it did pop off in its own way. It popped off. I thought we was gonna get some Disney twists in If We Were Villains. So I finished that. Then I started Best Fling. What I said? Best Fling. Best Next Fling. I started Best Next Fling. Check that off my butt, off my to-do list. So since October, because so that's how my October went with the 8 books. And it seems like, because I've already done this and I've already looked at it, and I've done it like twice, at least twice. I might have already done it 3 times. It seems like when I finish a book and I got 7 books, I've done it at 6 books too. I've gotten my books down to like 6. But 7, I've done it twice. 6, I've done it once. Okay, so when my list gets down to like 7, and this has been October. I'm not speaking about the previous months. Like I did mention, I only read 1 book at a time previous months. October, I found the magical essence of reading multiple books at one time. Like that's something new to me. That's something new to me. I'm grasping and enjoying. Okay, so I got my list down. I'm reading 8 books. I finish a book and I get it down to like 7. I will put another book back up there. Like, okay, I noticed I did that one time. I noticed I did that a second time. I noticed I did that a third time. I was like, okay, can I push it up to 9? I don't know though. I don't know. I'm like, nah, I don't know. I guess the answer is no, and I guess the safe spot is 8 for now. For now, that's how my October looked for now. Now, I have 8 books, and I have begun reading on them. I actually have 9 books, honestly. So I actually did it. Talking to y'all out loud, I'm realizing what I did. Okay, so my goal, I made it my goal to kind of see if I could push it up to 9, and I actually did. And I just noticed that I did it just now. I am actually reading H.P. Lovecraft. That's my 9th book. I mean, not numerically. Like, numerically, I guess Powerless would be my 9th book. Numerically, like how I started reading it. So, like, the last book I added is Powerless. Okay, so it's kind of done changed because, I mean, it has changed. Okay, we're in a whole nother month now. Okay, so my reading list has changed and revamped. So actually, I'm thinking I got my books down to 7. I actually had got them down to 8, and I added 9 books. The 9th book, I added the 9th book, and I did that after making that my goal. And I didn't see 9 books on there because I accidentally, on one platform I use, the books are like at the top and you can see them, and I accidentally marked my Lovecraft book, my H.P. Lovecraft book, I accidentally marked it completed, so it's not up there. If it was up there, it would look like 9 books. 9 books will be up there, but because I accidentally marked it down or finished, only 8 books show on that one. Now, the other platforms I use, all of the books are not displayed like that. Like, they're displayed on like a rower, so maybe only 3 or 4 books might show at a time, and then you got to press the arrow to see the next set, see the next number of books. All right, so I can read 9 books. And then what I've done is I've focused on the ones that I was most interested in. Also, yeah. So there's rotations. Like, I have a rotation. Like, when I finish a book, so this is October. This is how October has been. When I finish a book, I put a book up there. Like, because I already got the recommendations. We already collected the nuts. Okay, we went through the collecting nuts phase in August and September. So now that we have all the nuts, we just rotating them out. We we partaking and rotating them out like that. Like, that's how it's going. So I've done the looking at recommendations, and so now that I have them all, like it's real easy to just keep going. It's real easy to just pick up a book and read a book in a day and keep going. So yeah, that's what I did for all these sunken souls. I read that in a day. I read that in less than 24 hours. So that was a book I could easily rotate out. Now that I've read that, now I'm reading out. I'm reading the other book by Jordan Peele. Out. Something. out. Out. Out there screaming. Something like that. Out there screaming. So now I'm reading that. In addition to The Next Best Fling and the other books. But not really the other books because I'm focusing. So there is a focus that's being done as well, because I did mention that in October that I wanted to focus on getting certain books completed. Because I do see that some books, they are being read, and I kind of like looking at my other books that's waiting to be read. So like a book can come in real quick. But I do have some other books that I'm like, I kind of feel like I hadn't even got to them yet. So yeah, I will be focusing. Kind of, sort of, like if I feel like I don't want to focus on reading any book, I'm gonna read the book that I would like to read. Like that's just how that's gonna go down. Cause I like the feeling. I like the feeling of reading the book I would like to read. That's a good feeling. Now feeling like, oh, I gotta read this. So that is kind of how one of my reading lists is looking. Like I don't know how many books I got on that list. I have started reading it. I gotta that one. I don't know. I gotta work it in. I gotta work those into the fold. Like they would be great books to read. Like especially right now. They would be a great addition, and I'm talking about my manifestation books that I have on deck. Like I started reading one of them. I'm like, this was up right here. Like, yo, I just hadn't finished it yet. I started it. And I just haven't finished it. So yeah, that'll be cool to incorporate those books alongside the books I'm already reading. Somehow, some way, they're gonna have to be welcomed in to my to my reading nook, because they just can't be sitting there doing nothing. We're gonna have to get them read as well, because I actually started with those, and yeah, I don't know, I got maybe 8 more to go, maybe, of those specific type books. So yeah, I'm figuring out that. if it's just, it might just be as simple as reading it. Like, don't make it such a big deal. That's what I'm thinking. To add in it, because those books are, well, I kind of want to say they're smaller, but some of them books are not. Some of them books are just as big, if not bigger. But yeah. And with those books, I take more notes with those books. Okay, hold on. It's all coming clear to me. Hold on, let's see. Give me a pen. Let me pin this in. Yeah, I do take more notes with those. Let's see. Make a note here. Okay. All right. I think I just figured that out. Okay. Well, I do take more notes and attention with those books. All right. I have seen how I can incorporate them into what I'm doing with the other books. In their own way. So good. Okay. It's easy, guys. Alright then, fantastic. So I just figured that out. Anything else? What? Anything else we need to do and incorporate? And enjoy. Anything else we need to enjoy this month? Let me know in the comments below if there's anything we can add to the month, anything we can prepare for next month, so that we can all be grounded and enjoy the bountiful books before us. Bookshop is on the screen. Happy Day of the Dead to you and yours. Will I be viewing Hunger Games? I do enjoy reading books that are, at the moment, that are TV, that have been a TV. I did not know. Let's reverse it before I let you guys go. I did not know Black Cake was a series, and I'm up here reading the book. Like, ain't nobody tell me why both come and who, why, when, and where. And I looked at the trailer of Black Cake, and they have done a very good job of incorporating the book information. Like, wow. Like, it looked like they putting that book on the screen. Like, do it. Will I be watching it? I don't know. I read the book. Hunger Games. Will I be watching it? Have I seen it? You know I ain't seen it. I ain't seen that though. I like the series. The series is all right. Book 1, 2, and 3. I might have to revisit book 3. But yeah, 1 and 2. I did attempt to watch Hunger Games now that I know what it's about and things like that, because honestly the show did not interest me, but the book the book was good. Now I heard that the book had the show had the dome. So I did get that reference. I was like, oh yay, I got a Hunger Games reference. Woohoo! I was so happy. I was like, I got the reference. Like, before I read the book, I used to get Hunger Games and Game of Thrones mixed up. So now that I've read the book, I'm like, I can get a reference. I got a reference. So I attempted to go and watch the show because I'm like, okay, let's see this show. I don't know. Like, I couldn't get past the first episode. The jacket she has on, I'm wondering if that's her father's jacket, because in the book she has a jacket that belonged to her father, but I'm looking at this jacket that's on her and I'm like, that don't look like that's her father's jacket from the book. That look like it fits her to a glove. Like, is her father that small to wear that's his jacket and she's wearing it? Like, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch this because I'm comparing it to the information that I learned about while reading the book. And then the cat hissed at her, and I'm like, didn't no cat hiss at her in no book, did it? I don't recall. I thought the cat was friendly in the book. So like everything is just like, I don't know. It just, I'm like, can I sit here and see if that's her father's jacket or not? It don't look like it. I just can't. I don't know. Like, I like I like the book. Like, I don't know. I kind of wanted to see it, but the book is so descriptive. It's visual. It's visual. Like, I saw. Like, maybe I could ask somebody that watched it. Like, if they saw the orange monkeys, like in the book, I saw the orange monkeys. I saw the stuff like the boy in the mud. Oh my goodness. Like, ugh, like, it was very detailed and written out. It also was fast paced, the book. I don't know if the shows are like that or not. Yeah, I don't know if I can. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to watch it because it doesn't seem like it's like the book. Like, her hair don't look like it's braided. Like, even when I saw her in the thumbnails, her hair is all loose, and the book is braided. Like, I'm just like, I don't know. Like, it's just too many different things going on at one time. And is the book gonna be mentioned? Like, is it gonna be like a Lovecraft country where the book is mentioned? Now that was so tight because I watched in preparation and you know, sitting on your hands, how they say sitting on your hands and pins and needles waiting on when Lovecraft was coming out. I read the book while waiting on Lovecraft to come out, Lovecraft Country, the series. And then when it came out, I did enjoy it, but I also was comparing it. And then the book was mentioned, and the book was like making the comparison, and then the characters were making the comparison of the book. And I was like, yes, that's so wonderful. bravo. And I think the book did that. I don't know, did the book do that? But it was wonderful. I love how the book was tied in, and it did make sense because they were talking about jumping timelines. Lovecraft Country was well made. The person that wrote it actually said they took like 30 years to write it, and then they didn't finish it or something like that. So it's very inspirational to see it on the screen and things like that. And even in the book, before I knew that it took them 30 years to write it, like you could tell that it wasn't finished and it was piece. I'm talking about the book. And then how they attempted to put it together, which it was fine. It was fine. I could tell, but it was fine. So kudos to them for completing what they did and putting it together how they did. And then for it to be a series. And it is different from the book as well. So there aren't, you really can't, you can't be weird, but yeah, it's different from the book. Like, so you are reading, when you read it, that's that timeline, and then when you see it, that's that timeline. So I like how that was done with Lovecraft Country, and then also incorporated the book within itself. It got it right. So then I don't know if Hunger Games is like that. Like I don't know if they jump a timeline. and in one thing her hair is braided, and then because I'm like, well, I don't know if her hair braided, because okay, so her mom braided her hair for her to leave. So maybe her hair isn't braided yet. Maybe if I keep watching it, then I'll see that her hair gets braided. Ugh. I'm just not that interested in the show. I thought I wanted to see it because, I saw it in the book. I saw it while I was watching the book. And I don't know how close or not close it is to each other. I don't know if I've seen anybody that has watched and read the book. Like, I think the people that have watched the show haven't read the book. And the people that have read the book, I don't think they watched the show. So yeah, we not there yet. We read the book. We read the book. I think it's gonna be a session, a time when we allot to watch the book. I mean, to watch the show. I think that's what's going on. That's what's being set up in the book club. So far we've read book 1, and like I said, I was so interested in book 1, I went on to him and read book 2, and then I was so interested in book 2, I wanted to read book 3. So I've already I love that I did that and enjoyed that series like that. But yeah, I think that what's going on is we're gonna read the book and then we're gonna watch the movie. So I got some time to. We're gonna watch the show. I don't know if it's a movie. So we're gonna watch something after we read something. So after we read the stuff, we're gonna watch the stuff. And that's how we're doing Harry Potter too. Right now I'm reading Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, and then we'll watch Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. So after the Harry Potter movies, then we'll watch the movie. After the Harry Potter books, then we'll watch the movies. So on and vis-a-vis. Black Cake. Black Cake is the series. I just read Black Cake earlier in October. Just finished Black Cake, and it's a series, and it looks close. I don't know exactly how it goes, but it looks close. Like the trailer that I saw, it looks very close. It looks very, very close. Like I don't know why it wouldn't be. I'm trying to think of like areas that would be changed, but why not go ahead and make it the whole thing like the book, because the book was cool. Like, I don't see where in these, I mean, like where there could be alternatives. Mm, go ahead and let Byron be the oceanographer, or what was he? Ocean biologist, marine life, uh, something he was in, and then let his sister be what she was in, and go ahead and let them be the characters out in the book. That's how it's looking. There's even somebody in the water. There's even somebody in the ocean. Like, that series looks true to the book form. So yeah, I think that will, if you want to watch a book, if you want to watch a book, Black Cake is the show, because it looks like it's true to the source material. Doesn't look like much has been changed, as far as I can tell. I haven't seen it, but I have read the book, and it looks darn close to the book. So yeah, if you wanna watch a book, that'll be a good show to watch. If you don't want to read the book and you want to watch the show, or if you want to read the book and watch the show, boom, boom, boom. There you go. That'll be a great show to. It looks true to source. I don't know how close Hunger Games is true to source. I don't know. Like, that kind of. I don't know. It don't seem like it is. It seems like if they have room to wiggle and change things from the book, it seems like they're doing it. That's what it seems like. But I don't know. I don't know. I hadn't even seen a trailer for that movie. So maybe I'll go and look up a trailer, and maybe I can see more into the show before. I can do that, but yeah, like I said, the book club, we're reading the book, and then we're gonna watch the show after we read the book, which I've already read the book, so I like that. So yeah, I'll probably do that. Look that up, see what that's looking like. It kind of looking, I don't know. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I don't know anything about this show. The only thing I know about the show is that I read it, and it was the fastest paced book I think I've read in all the books that I've read. I think it seemed like it seemed like we was on the what's called Starship Intergalactic, and we was full speed ahead. We was full speed ahead. We already done. I mean, and I'm not the only one that said that they read that book like that too. It was some other people that said they couldn't hardly put the book down, and they read it too sweet. And I'm just like, that book right there, like, I called it a wormhole. I called it a wormhole because it went so fast. It's something. Whatever go fast, that's what that book is. That's what that series is. The Hunger Game book series. So yeah. and it was very detailed with the dome descriptions, especially in book 2. Book 1, yeah. Book 2, there was more details. There was more to what was going on. And then I was like, I kind of didn't want them to go back in. I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. They went back in and they made it out. Lord have mercy. Whew. Goodness. So yeah, I guess I'll go look up a trailer for that. See what that's gonna look like. See what the Hunger Games are gonna look like. Thank you all so much for indulging in this vlog. One more thing. Okay, so I mentioned Black Cake. I let you guys know that that was a series as well as a book. One more thing. There are some characters that in this movie that I mentioned in this live stream. There are characters that this character is being likened to. And before I heard the director producer speaking about it and saying out of his own mouth that this character was likened to Mr. Rogers, and what else he said? He said somebody else, I thought. I would beg to differ, but he is the producer. So before I saw the interview with the director producer coming out of his own mouth saying that this character was likened to Mr. Rogers, before I saw that, I was saying, oh no, contraire, Monfort, like, to the other people, to the other people that were making movie reviews and saying he's like a Mr. Rogers. I was like, no, he's not. No, he's not. No. I was like, he's more like Mr. Noodle from Sesame Street. That's what he's more like to me, because Mr. Noodle has a magic marker, or has a marker that he uses. Mr. Rogers didn't have a marker except for when he wrote, I think he did write on a whiteboard, but he didn't do that often. Mr. Noodle from Elmo's World was like a mime, and sometimes he had on like that color shirt. And it would be different Mr. Noodles too. Oh Lord. And sometimes Mr. Noodles would have on those type of pants, and then sometimes those Mr. Noodle would have on that type of sweater vest, and then sometimes Mr. Noodles would have that type of likeness type bow tie, and Mr. Noodle would draw stuff. I think Mr. Noodle drew a dough one time and walked in the dough and walked out the dough. I think that was the episode. I was thinking he was more like Mr. Noodle. More even maybe Mr. Cosby with the bumblebee pen. The Mr. Cosby had like a pen that he would make sounds with it when he drew like that. But I don't know, was that a marker or a pen? I thought it was a pen. But yeah, Mr. Noodle had a marker. And Mr. Noodle, he dressed more like Mr. Noodle than anybody. Like if you look at Mr. Noodle's clothes, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's Mr. Noodle's wardrobe right there. But I was corrected via film producer director. He said Mr. Rogers. So I'm like, oh, excuse me. Okay, I retract what I said then. Because I was attempting to correct a couple of people like, he more like Mr. Noodle. And then I saw the interview with the producer, and he said it, and I was like, okay, alrighty then. Duly noted. Fantastic. Okay, alrighty. I don't know why y'all want to say Batman, but because Mr. Rogers didn't have no bow tie. Mr. Rogers didn't have a bow tie. Like, Mr. Rogers is a good fit. Anyways, like, don't do that to Mr. Rogers. But not nobody talk bad about my Mr. Rogers. Like, really? Why y'all doing that to Mr. Rogers? Like, he more like Mr. Noodle. Like, you can do that with Mr. Noodle. Do that with Mr. Noodle, not Mr. Rogers. Oh my goodness, because Mr. Noodle is in Elmo's World. Like, it's more similar to Mr. Noodle. Like, Mr. Rogers had a neighborhood. Like, he didn't have a world. I don't do like Pete Mr. Rogers, not Mr. Rogers, Pete Mr. Noodles, and see this character is more like Mr. Noodles than Mr. Rogers. Like, Mr. Rogers didn't have puppets around him. Mr. Noodle does. Anyways, so yeah, the producer, writer, director himself said Mr. Rogers. So I'm like, oh, okay. That's what you want to say. I'm like, that's what you want to say. I don't know if you know about Mr. Noodles, but he's more like Mr. Noodles than Mr. Rogers. So Yeah. And that and that's with me not watching the film. I got all of that from the clips that I saw. All of that from the clips. What is that? What? I set that down right there. Uh-uh. Yes, I did. I said it right there. See?